Hi guys, my name is Lyric, although most people simply know me as Lee. It has been approximately 7 months since I last uploaded a proper video to this channel. My most recent upload was around 2 months ago, in which I briefly introduced Redwood, a Minecraft pilot episode that I have been developing. I will be speaking about that project in greater detail shortly, but before doing so, I believe it is important to explain where I have been, and what I've been doing, and why this channel has remained largely inactive. Over the past several months, my primary focus has shifted towards my education, my artistic pursuits, and perhaps most importantly, my personal growth. Earlier this year in April, I was formally diagnosed with level 1 autism. It has been a significant life event, one that I am still learning to understand and accept. While I am uncertain how I truly feel about the diagnosis, it has allowed me to better comprehend aspects of myself that I previously struggled to explain with. It has been a journey of reflection, adaptation, and self-discovery. And although I continue to navigate it, I am gradually learning more about who I am. A few months prior, in February, I experienced one of the most meaningful moments of my life. I was given the opportunity to exhibit my artwork within a professional art gallery, to see something I had created displayed publicly, where others could appreciate it beyond the confines of my own room. It was an indescribable honor. It was a surreal and profoundly memorable experience that I will undoubtedly cherish for the rest of my life. Then May arrived, marking the beginning of my summer break. As of recording this video, I am still in the remainder of my vacation before returning to school in August. The additional time away from academics has given me an opportunity to reflect upon my future, my ambitions, and the direction in which I wish to take both my creative work and this channel. Throughout these past several months, I have found myself asking the same question repeatedly. What do I truly want to create? I have always possessed a remarkably broad range of interests. I have an immense appreciation for trees and the natural world. I enjoy playing the piano, composing and listening to music, creating digital artwork, playing video games, and participating in sports such as badminton, and exploring countless other creative hobbies. Each of these passions have become a meaningful part of who I am, and each has influenced the way I view creativity and storytelling. However, among all of these interests, one passion consistently rises above the rest. That's filmmaking. More specifically, filmmaking within Minecraft. There is something unique about transforming a game into a medium for cinematic storytelling. The ability to construct worlds, compose scenes, direct characters, and tell emotionally compelling stories through a virtual environment. It has fascinated me for years. It is a creative process unlike any other, blending artistry, music, writing, cinematography, and imagination into a single experience. And with that, I believe it is time to discuss more about Redwood. Because that project, and what has become of it, marks the beginning of the next chapter for us both. I meant to say, for the next chapter for both of this channel and myself. Redwood is an original cinematic Minecraft film that I have been developing for the past 2 years. At its core, it is a story centered around conflict, suspense, drama, and survival. Within the world of Redwood, humanity and Endermen coexist, but only in the most fragile sense. Their relationship has long since deteriorated into one hostility and mistrust. That Endermen have become an exponentially rare species, with only a small population remaining throughout the world. As their numbers continue to decline, they are relentlessly pursued by human hunters. Not because who they are, but because of something what they possess. That's the Ender Pearl. Within this universe, the Ender Pearl is regarded as one of the most extraordinary and valuable resources ever discovered. As you know, when it's thrown, it instantly teleports the user to the location where it landed before shattering upon impact. Such an object possesses immense power and atomic value, making it highly sought after across the world. As a consequence, countless Endermen have become victims of I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Has become victims of execution. They are hunted, captured, and executed solely for the resources they carry. To many humans, they are no longer viewed as living beings deserving of compassion, but merely as waste, whose lives are worth less than the pearls they possess. Among all the numerous organizations responsible for this mass extermination, one faction has become particularly infamous: We the People. This extremist terrorist organization has dedicated itself entirely to the eradication of the Enderman race. This terrorist organization is rooted in fear, superiority, and absolute intolerance. Mercy is regarded as weakness, diplomacy is considered impossible, and the coexistence is viewed as a threat. Wherever rumors of surviving Endermen emerge, they arrive soon afterwards, leaving devastation in their wake. Yet, despite all of this overwhelming oppression, resistance still exists. Scattered throughout the world are small communities of surviving Endermen who refuse to surrender. Hidden from society, they fight to revenge, but also for survival. One group is known as the Department of Doubt. Unlike every other faction, this group possesses something almost unimaginable: a human among their ranks. The Department of Doubt consists of 3 individuals: Florent, Albert, and Dred Seaton. 2 Endermen, 1 human. Despite the centuries of hatred and that separated their species, they have chosen cooperation over division. Their alliances defies everything society believes possible, providing that trust can exist between those whom the world insists must remain enemies. It is through these 3 unlikely companions that the story of Redwood unfolds. However, many people may not realize that Redwood did not begin with this story. In fact, I originally released the first 2 episodes of Redwood nearly two years ago. The project itself has existed in some form since 2024, I'm pretty sure. Long before the version I am presenting today. Those early episodes represented the very first foundation of the series. Well, it's going to be a pilot now, so that's the thing. The first episode served primarily as an introduction, while the second began expanding upon the world and its characters. Although they remain available to watch on my channel, they depict a version of Redwood that is drastically different from what the series has ultimately become. Yes, I have changed everything, and that's what I explained for. Before we continue, it is important to explain why. Over the past 2 years, I have grown considerably as both a storyteller and filmmaker. As I gained experience with writing, cinematography, pacing, and world building, I gradually come to realize that the original narrative lacked the depth and storytelling, I guess, that I wanted the project to possess. Because, honestly, I look through them, and it's kind of bad. But rather than continue the story I no longer believed represented my abilities, I made the difficult decision to reconstruct Redwood almost entirely from the ground up. The characters remained, the title remained, but nearly everything has changed. The original premise was vastly different from what I have just described. Instead of exploring the mass extinction of the Endermen and the actual extermination, the story followed Albert, Florence, and Jed as they prepared for the annual Skywars tournament hosted by the Hive Games. This is where I explained that Redwood used to be like. So, this is what Redwood used to be. I'm about to explain. Instead of exploring stuff, their greatest obstacle was renewed by a competitor known as Samuel Winchester Novahan, a legendary Skywars player whose reputation made him one of the most feared participants in the competition. My bad. Alongside him competed his wife, Charlotte Thompson, another highly accomplished player, but lacked seriousness. That is so... whatever. The following year's tournament, he featured a grand prize of $5 million, making it to the most prestigious and anticipated competition in the world. Knowing Samuel's extraordinary skill, Albert, Florent, and Jed understood that victory would be nearly impossible if he remained in the tournament. Consequently, they debated numerous strategies, whether to somehow eliminate him before the competition even began, or to temporarily cooperate with him despite the tournament being restricted of teams of 2. That was the original incarnation of Redwood. Looking back today, I can clearly recognize both its strengths and its shortcomings. While I remain proud of the enthusiasm and ambition I had when creating those early episodes, I also acknowledge how much I have matured as a writer, director, and storyteller over the past 2 years. Those original episodes represent the beginning of my filmmaking journey. The version of Redwood that exists today represents where that journey has led me. So, if you decide to watch the early episodes, I simply ask you to keep one thing in mind. They were created by someone who is still learning. And without those first imperfect attempts, the Redwood I envision today would have never existed. With that now addressed, I have made the difficult decision to suspend the production of Redwood, at least for the time being. I want to be completely transparent with everyone. Throughout the development of this project, I have been producing everything within Minecraft Bedrock Edition. While Bedrock has served me well, it is ultimately not an ideal platform for cinematic filmmaking due to its significant limitations. Compared to Java Edition, it lacks the extensive ecosystem of modifications and production tools that are essential for creating films at the standard I envision. Minecraft Java Edition, on the other hand, it offers an abundance of powerful filmmaking utilities. Mods such as motion capture and flashback, alongside numerous other production tools, provide capabilities and simply are not available on Bedrock Edition. These tools dramatically improve efficiency, creating freedom, and the overall quality of production. My previous workflow required operating 2 separate devices within the same world, manually controlling multiple accounts in order to capture scenes. Not only this process was highly inefficient, but it was also incredibly frustrating and unnecessarily time-consuming. With Java Edition, that limitation no longer exists. I can record numerous characters entirely on my own, and record large crowds without requiring additional people, and to create scenes that were previously impossible using my old methods. However, transitioning to these new tools can be a bit difficult. I am still learning how to effectively use both the motion capture and flashback mods. Like any other professional software, they require practice, experimentation, and experience before they can be utilized to their full potential. In addition, I also adapted Axiom as my primary world building tool. While it serves a similar purpose to WorldEdit, it introduced its own workflow that I must become proficient with before I can confidently use it throughout production. Beyond the technical aspects, I have also decided to create every character's skin from scratch, rather than relying on publicly available designs. Each skin takes approximately 2 hours to complete. But I believe this investment is worthwhile in order to give the world of Redwood a unique and original visual identity. When everything is considered together, the scope of work becomes... Oh my god. Even though I'm just gonna... Never mind. I must master motion capture, flashback, and Axiom, design an entirely original collection of character skins, continuing editing and refining the project, coordinate with voice actors, and compose an original soundtrack for the film. These are all essential components of the production, and each of them demands a significant amount of time, patience, and dedication. For those reasons, I have decided to place the production of Redwood on hold for now. I sincerely hope you all understand this decision. Although this may appear to be a setback, I do not view it as one. As someone who is deeply passionate about filmmaking, I see this as an important step forward. By taking the time to learn better tools, develop stronger skills, and build a more professional production pipeline, I believe Redwood will ultimately become the film I always envisioned. Thank you for your patience, your continued support, and for believing in this project. I should have written this more and kind of rewrite everything.